Dang it, always forget to mute that video. Anyways, welcome back, guys, and we are here with a very timely review of Fast X, which is the 10th, if not the 11th installment into the Fast and Furious franchise, because, you know what, I can spoil it, The Rock is back. Post-credit scene, The Rock is back, and guess what? Spoiler alert, Gal Gadot is back as well. So I'll put spoilers in the title, but those are really the only two spoilers you need for this movie, because this movie is not a complete movie. And when I say that, I know we've got like Dune Part 1, we just had Spider-Verse Part 1, Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. It was going to be two-parters, but then they renamed it to Beyond the Spider-Verse, so people were surprised. Because I remember that first trailer where it came out, it was like Part 1, and everyone's like, oh, Part 1, okay. And then they kind of dropped that for just Across the Spider-Verse, and the next one's going to be Beyond. But some people are still upset about it. But maybe this movie just didn't make a big enough impact, or, just like the cliffhanger. Like, this is basically an episode of TV, and not so much where people, call the MCU television or something like that. This is literally like just cuts off in the middle of something that's going on, and then just cuts away. And then we're credits. Like, it cuts away, we see Gal Gadot pop out of a submarine, and then credits. And you're like, what? And not like in a, sorry, my cat's playing with her mouse right now. When everyone, like, oh my God, moaned and groaned at the credits of Spider-Verse. For me, I was just like, oh, I'd heard this, but I didn't realize it was this bad. And it's pretty rough. But let's get into the movie itself. We are back with the Fast crew, and this time Dante, played by Jason Momoa, who is the son of the villain. Is his name Reyes from the first movie, I believe. The son from the villain from Fast 5 is back. He survived. They kind of shoehorned him into that final vault action scene, and like, it was tough for me because I think that's a good way to shoehorn things. Like, oh, you're bringing up, the past, but also you're like, man, Fast 5 really was the peak of this series. Bringing that up and then continuing with this movie, like, pretty not smart comparing, contrasting these two movies, because woof. But I'll start there with Jason Momoa, and much has been debated about his performance. If it's good, if it's too much, if it's over the top, if it's, he's having a lot of fun. And I'm kind of right in the middle. I can see where some parts, I'm like, you're at an 11 right now and need you at like a 6 or a 7, maybe even an 8, because it's Fast and Furious, but you're at an 11. But honestly, there were plenty of times, and more times than I needed him to be less, that I was laughing at what he was doing. He was very funny. He was very enjoyable. And so he was kind of the best part about this movie, where everyone is so stoic and so serious, and you have Tyrese and Ludacris doing their best to try and bring any kind of levity or joy to this series. And John Cena's character is back, but he is nothing like he was in Fast 9, where Fast 9, he was literally just Vin Diesel, just like mean mugging the whole time. And of course, every enemy in this series becomes friends. And that includes Charlize Theron, who was like the big bad of the last two movies. Now, they're on the same side. Like, the enemy of my enemy is you, she says in the movie. And it's just like, what? How are you going to set up, like, the overarching villain just to change it with nothing? Like, you see in the trailer that her and Michelle Rodriguez, like, have a fist fight, but that's literally it. And I guess I'm spoiling this movie, but it's been out for a few weeks. You've either seen it or you haven't. But it was such a strange choice for me that you have, you know what? Fast 8 and Fast 9 aren't the greatest movies, but Charlize is, like, having a good time with it. And, she's kind of just like staring at screens for both performances, which, hey, good on her getting like that paycheck for just being like, I'm gonna get you, Dom. Cut? Okay, cool. Thanks. But $3 million? Awesome. Appreciate it. But I was like, you know what? It's a good thing to like have like one villain that you're eventually going to beat after all these movies. And I like that. I thought it was good. And they completely throw that away when Jason Momoa shows up and, kills her. Doesn't kill her, but like, kills all her henchmen and everything. Now he's the big bad. Which, Jason Momoa is great, but it's just like, I don't know. I don't know how they would have done it instead, but it was just a weird choice. That if one thing, if she was just the villain for Fast 8, like, yeah, sure, whatever. Or Fate of the Furious. But for 2 movies, she is the big bad, and then just suddenly just nothing. No resolution whatsoever. And you know what? We've got like, 7 more of these movies? Who knows? They say 3, I think, but a Hobbs movie just got announced, and I don't know if that's separate from a different movie, so I don't know what's going on with it, and I don't think anybody really does. We'll see. What's the box office for this? I watched Dan's show, but that was a few weeks ago, so what are we at right now? I don't know if it's doing well. Oh my god, the budget for this movie is $340 million. How? What? Isn't that like more than Avengers Endgame? What the heck is going on? It's made 650 worldwide, which is fine, but like, don't they say like basically double it for like, I feel like we'll just say like an even $500 million for this entire budget, including marketing. So like looks like it's barely making positive, and it's so crazy that I watched this on demand. So it's so crazy that it's already out on demand. That's wild to me. But back to the movie, I like Jason Momoa. Overall, Jason Momoa was a positive for me. Everybody else is just like kind of there. It wasn't even really a full movie. It was just kind of set piece after set piece where, okay, Jason Momoa shows up. We show him taking out Charlize Theron. Okay, cool. Then we have this action scene where Ludacris and Tyrese argue and they kind of slapbox a little bit. Okay. And then you have Michelle Rodriguez and Charlize kind of fight. Okay. And then you have Brie Larson's action scene. Okay. And then you've got Jason Momoa and Vin Diesel racing. Okay. It's like one thing after another, and there's really no through line. I guess there is. Jason Momoa bad, and that's it. That's really the only through line you have. And so, I don't know. It was a strange movie, and I'm a big defender of these. Do I think, like everybody else, that this should have ended after Fast 7? Absolutely. It had the perfect send-off. The song, the Paul Walker tribute, a genuinely good villain and story. Like, I know people like Jason Statham was a great villain. And then it just kept going. And I can't blame them for that either. The last 2 movies, they did make $1 billion. So what am I going to say to the business, like the producers? Like, no, the story really matters. Like, it does, but it's show business. Oh, wait, the last one only made 726 million. So Fast 8 made $1 billion. The last one didn't do as well, but they're still making money. I don't know, man. It's such a weird thing where, like, yes, artistically this should have been done, but if they keep making money, then you got to keep doing them. Like, I mean, even like Hobbs and Shaw, is it on here? Even Hobbs and Shaw, which was like considered not a success, like, there's not going to be another Hobbs and Shaw, and obviously Hobbs is literally back in this movie. Even that one did pretty well. What's that at? Let me take a look real quick. 760. So it's like, it didn't do as good as Furious 7, but what did? Furious 7 was like a huge, like, ginormous success. I don't know. I think I'm kind of done with this, and my friend Cameron was saying, like, it's like the opposite of Star Trek, where all the even Star Treks are the best ones, all the even Fast are the worst ones. So who knows? Maybe Fast 11 or Hobbs 2 or whatever the heck is next. Maybe the next Fast saga is going to be amazing. And you know what? I'll see it. And this is the first one I haven't seen in theaters since Tokyo Drift. I've seen all of them in theaters besides Tokyo Drift. And until this one. And that does say something, especially, when you have a service that lets you watch movies for free for $25 a month. and in IMAX and all this stuff, and I still didn't go. I am glad I watched this movie at home. I think it's worth a rental, kinda, but it's a very soft recommend from me, honestly. It does suck that just like a series that I have really enjoyed and have had a really fun time with is like fallen off like this. And I think it was only a matter of time once they went past Fast 7 that it was going to reach this point. And it still sucks though, because I really have enjoyed all of these movies. I can find joy, I feel like the weakest ones are probably, Too Fast, Too Furious and Tokyo Drift, but I can still find enjoyment in those, and I'm finding less and less as this series goes on. And that is unfortunate, but still a recommend from me. If you can, if you guys, I'd wait till it was like free on, Max or Netflix or whatever it's going to be on. I don't know which one it's going to be on, but once it's there, I'd recommend watching it because there are some fun moments with Jason Momoa. There are some cool action scenes, but it is still half a movie. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate y'all. Patreon is getting this early, even though, I'm a month late on this, but thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye-bye.